Good day, good people. Today I will be continuing our simple JavaScript rendering tutorial. I'm going to show you how to inspect some static HTML and how to create a reusable model for it using a JSON object. In our last video, we added this default HTML from the Bootstrap site to our index.html. So if we take a look here, we see these three pricing tiles. I want to look at the HTML for those pricing tiles and create a model for it using a JSON object. So if you inspect the HTML by right-clicking on the element and saying inspect, it'll bring up the Chrome Elements Inspector. These three cards, 1, 2, and 3, are within something called a card deck, and the card deck is within something called a container. I want to take this particular snippet of HTML and create a JSON model for it. So to do that, we select it like this, right-click, edit HTML, Control A to select it all, and bring it over into our app.js. We are going to paste it into a JavaScript file and then Control KC to comment it out. So what we want is to be able to control the different pieces of it, such as the headings, the list of items here within it, and the button text. So to do that, we will create a JavaScript object. We will call it pricing tile models, and that is going to be an array. Inside this array, we will add a JavaScript object. And we will give it something called, we'll just add a property called type and call it a pricing tile. Then we can add looking at this section of HTML here, we will add a property called card header. We will add a property called card title. And again, this is I'm just going through the HTML looking at this header and then this header. Now we move on to this list of items, and I will call that card list items. And that also will be, that will be another array. And in that array, we will just have a set of strings. And I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste this into here. Get rid of all this stuff. And then finally add a property called button text, which will simply be the string sign up for free. So since I've written this as a global object within our app.js file, I will be able to access it in the Chrome DevTools console and then pass it into our render element function. So let's test that. We will console.log json.stringify config null2. And if any of you are wondering what config or json.stringify config null2 does, it prints out the JavaScript object as a string that's formatted. All right, so we save that. Let's go ahead back here, go back over to our JavaScript console, and refresh the browser. Now we can see our pricing tiles models. We'll go ahead and let that continue executing. And now we can come to the console and say SR, or first we'll test that we have our pricing tile models, which we do. It's an array of objects with a single object in it. Clear the console. We will say sr.renderElement, and we'll pass in pricing tile models. So there we have it. We have our config object passed in from the console, which is an array of pricing tile objects, and we'll dump that to the console. All right, so I'm just trying to go over some helpful debugging techniques as you're stepping through your JavaScript app. Okay, so now that we have our model set up, I'm going to end this video here and continue with the rest of the simple renderer functions in the next video. Thank you very much.